privilege and honor to have a great politician, not only from Telangana, all over India, senior most politician. I just don't have to tell his name, everyone knows that, but still it's my duty to introduce Mr. khaleequr Rahman. Sir, I'll tell you something more about that. Unfortunately, 2011, there was an accident, unfortunately, sir lost his son. And Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin's former Indian captain, he also lost his son. So after that, sir has come to a conclusion, let's start this youth against speed and road safety. That was the key thing. Apart from that, sir is a socialite. Sir, his intention is quite clear. His intention is in the form of educational reformation. That's what sir is into. By this, I just introduce, please welcome Mr. khaleequr Rahman sir to our show. In fact, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Faheem, and it is indeed a privilege and a pleasure to have you here with me. And as for the TV 99 is concerned, this is not a new TV channel to me, and I think I have appeared on this channel many a times before. And maybe I think about 4 or 5 years back when this channel was launched, I remember the channel was introduced to me as something which was focusing mainly on the educational activities. So when you called me yesterday for my time and for an interview, I think probably this is the right medium to reach across to people. So that is how. So I mean, you are welcome here to ask me anything, whatever you feel like, without any hesitation. In fact.
Thank you so much.
You are at full liberty.
Thank you very much. Indeed, it's a privilege and honor. Now, since we are here, I will start from the education point of view, because we heard, you're involved into that segment. You're trying to, have that empowerment towards women. Your intention is about education. So, how you started that, sir? Like how?
Actually, it's like this, because I come from the political, socio-political family background. My grandfather was the freedom fighter, Khatib Muhammad Abdul Sahab. He worked with Pandit Nehru, he worked with Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad. And then my father was into active politics for almost about 40 years. He held many key positions in the state government and also in the government of India. He was a member of parliament for 2 terms. And then he also served on many parliamentary committees. So that is what got me interested into the politics, the social issues, I would say. And that is because politics was something which we used to discuss on our dining table almost every day. And then I also had the privilege of traveling with my dad most of the time. So that is where I think I could say that my understanding about not just the politics but about the key social issues is quite good, in the sense that because I had one-on-one interaction with many social groups, many social organizations, many NGOs, and many people, I would say. So, and then I joined Congress Party, and while I was in college, because I did my graduation from Nizam College, I was associated with NSUI, which is the students' body of the Congress. It's a front line organization of the Congress students' body. So they are, in fact, I was the general secretary of the NSUI at the college level, and also then rose to the position of national general secretary of NSUI. Then that is what actually got me interested. Then after that, I got busy with my business activities because I did not want to make politics as my profession.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is the reason. Then I thought that I must, focus more on my livelihood also. That is how I started working on, earning my livelihood. And then, it is in 2006-07 I again, got back to very active politics. But I was actually in politics. It was not that, but very active politics, I would say.
In the year 2006.
So in the year 2006, and then 2009, the Lok Sabha election, I was given the key responsibility of Moradabad parliamentary constituency, from where Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Was contesting the election. I was his election in charge, and I was also his official election agent. So that is how, I would say I had a great honor of registering a victory in Moradabad for Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin. It was Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin's Charishma, followed by the Congress policies. So all these things put together, and the people, the love of the people, the love and affection of the people of Moradabad, I would say, more than anything else.
Very true.
Which actually, gave victory to Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin in his maiden election. Then rest is history. Then after that, I was made as the national coordinator of All India Congress Committee by the Honorable Congress President Srimati Sonia Gandhi ji. That is when I had the opportunity to travel all across the country, the length and breadth of the country, and then I had the opportunity to meet more than 25 crore of the minorities. That is where I was the national coordinator of the minorities department of Congress. So then I started realizing that what is the reason that minorities are always considered as less privileged in our country, and they are not actually on par with the other majority. But then I realized that number one, there are so many factors, I would say, because I cannot say one, or I cannot single out one factor for this. But the main important factor, what I thought, that the educational backwardness, especially among the minorities, especially among the Muslim community.
Very true.
So that is when I started working on this issue actually. So that is where I realized that if you want to empower any community, forget about minority, you can empower that community with education.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
Very
so,
true.
Yeah. So that is how actually I started working on the education. Then I also had the privilege and the honor of working very closely with the Government of India, the HRD Ministry, and especially when Mr. Pallam Raju, he was the HRD Minister from here. That is when I used to have very close interaction with him and also with the ministry. And then Mr. Rahman was the minister, Union Minister for Minority Affairs. That is where we used to work on different initiatives and the policies of the Government of India. And then we devised many policies, the scholarships, and especially I thought that if other communities can fare well, why not the minorities?
Very true.
Right? Because there are equal number of opportunities which are provided to them by the government, but somewhere that link was missing actually. So I was trying to be that the missing link in between the minorities and
going
the
to be a
government
bridge for
actually.
them.
Yeah, because there are so many policies, there are so many scholarships, there are so many benefits which are available for the minority, especially more than the majority, I would say.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, sir, do you think that awareness is key?
Exactly, awareness. That's what I was coming to actually.
Okay.
So then, then there is a 20-point Prime Minister, program for the minorities and all these things. So unfortunately, what happened is because I would say, either I would not blame anybody else, but I would blame ourselves for that, because we call ourselves the leader, but we failed to take these policies, take these benefits to the doorstep of the minorities, the common man actually. So that is where, see, what happens is awareness is the key for anything. If you are not having the awareness, because see what happens if you want an admission to an engineering college, today there is a reservation available for the minorities, especially in engineering and educational institutions. And then it was during the Rashtriya Reddy Sahib government here that the 4% reservation was granted to the minority students, and due to which lakhs and lakhs of the minority students got benefited, especially the Muslims, economically backward. And I think more than 20,000 students could become the doctors, and more than I think 2.5 lakh students could become the engineer because of this reservation. Because this reservation was available only for the SC, ST and the other classes. So that is the reason we insisted that there has to be a reservation for that. And now reservation definitely, see, for any community, if you want to bring them up, you provide them the level playing field. That is important actually.
Right.
So once you provide the level playing field, then automatically you don't need to give them any kind of support or something like that. Then they will learn how to play the game from there.
Fantastic. This is what I told. It's not just I'm trying to tell that senior politician, you can understand the ocean of knowledge what sir got. You talk about education, rightly sir, what he told. Like if anyone wants to be developed, education is the key factor. I highly appreciate it, sir. The insight what you have given, it's tremendous. Thank you very much. Now since we are here, we know you're a senior politician. Just want to ask you, like after 2018, I think you've joined TRS. What do you think? What is the change? What do you think?
See, I joined TRS in the year 2018.
Yes.
And some of the policies of the TRS government, really impressed me. Especially the concern of our Honorable CM for the education empowerment of the Muslim community, especially I would say. So today we have more than 110 minority residential schools for Muslims, especially in Telangana state.
Fantastic.
And that one initiative, in fact, touched my heart, I would say, because it is not that easy for anybody. Because we had the government also previously, and even during the Congress, the government during the Congress regime, there were minority residential schools, but they were hardly in any numbers there because not the main focus was there on that. But our Honorable CM, Shri K. Chandrasekhar Rao sir, he made it a point, he ensured that these residential schools for the minorities are established in Telangana, and so that the minority students who cannot afford the education, so they can be provided with the opportunity to educate themselves. So today the government of Telangana is spending more than 110,000, that is 1,10,000 rupees on every student.
God, for like that 100 schools?
110 schools are there, but our CM's objective and the dream is to take this number to 500, and I'm sure that will happen in the times to come. Yes. So that is one thing. And if you go to these schools, I'm sure, I think, because you as a TV channel must visit the school, you should see yourself the atmosphere there, you should see yourself the standard of the schools, and then you will, I'm sure, get highly impressed. So that is the vision of our CM, especially for minorities and in the field of the education. And not only that, then he also launched the Minority Overseas Scholarship Scheme for the minority students who cannot afford. Because see, what happens is you do an engineering, but you want to go abroad for your masters, but not everyone can afford it. So that is where our Honorable CM has launched the scheme called Overseas Scholarship Scheme for Minorities. So under that scheme, initially when it was launched, 10 lakh rupees was the grant, not the loan which was being given to the student. Student, and plus 75,000 rupees one-way airfare. But then our Honorable CM realized that 10 lakh rupees is less because some of the universities have got higher fees. So that is the reason this scholarship amount, this grant, I would say, overseas scholarship amount was increased to 20 lakhs. It was doubled. So now today the government of Telangana offers free scholarship and the grant to all those desirous students who want to go abroad and pursue their masters. They are paid 20 lakhs rupees plus 75,000 one-way airfare. Sir, and after you finish that, you don't have to come back and repay that to the government. It is a one-time help to the students from the government of Telangana.
Oh my God, sir, now what I want to is...
So this is what the awareness is required, absolutely. That is the reason, so this is one thing I'm telling you. Job creators. Yeah, so that...
that might
help, so many entrepreneurs. And right now, the government is also helping the entrepreneurs, the businessmen, through the loans from the Minority Finance Corporation. Yeah, so earlier because the government used to give only the margin money, the rest the bankers used to sanction. But it was always seen that the entrepreneur are And the candidate used to get the letter from the Minority Finance Corporation, he used to go to the bank, and bank never used to cooperate with them, they used to. But now, today, it is the other way around. So, the Minority Finance Corporation is providing the loan, and it is not left to the mercy of the banks today.
Oh, that's great
Yeah,
news.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
is this launched or it's
Launched, it's there very much. And so many, thousands and thousands of people, lakhs and lakhs have been benefited with this.
fantastic.
So apart from that, there are also, the Shadi Mubarak, because I'm coming to one by one. Shadi Mubarak is one scheme where, today, marrying a girl is a big challenge. So under Shadi Mubarak scheme, the government provides 1,01,000 rupees to the bride, and it goes directly in her account.
Okay.
Yeah, so that is there. And apart from that, you have so many other schemes of the government of Telangana where you can, not only this, the other states are also, coming to the state of Telangana. They are studying all these factors and they want to implement this, especially the residential school project. Recently, the Minority Commission, National Minority Commission's vice chairman had visited our state here, and he visited one of the residential schools. He really appreciated that. He really applauded the efforts of the government of Telangana. So this is what the government of Telangana is doing for the minorities. This is what brought me into the TRS party.
All right, I understand.
Yeah.
The reason why you have to get into this
Yeah.
is there is a clear-cut
Yeah.
induction. There is clear-cut, growth for all the minorities.
And apart from that, because there are also so many schemes of the government of India, which I think we need to create the awareness, especially among the minority students. Maulana Azad, Maulana Azad National Foundation is there. Manu is a different. This is a university. Yeah, and apart from that, even Ministry of Minority Affairs offers so many scholarships to the students. So that is the reason. I think what I personally feel that everyone has got a smartphone. So my humble advice, especially to all the youngsters, especially the students, you waste a lot of time on the Facebook, you waste a lot of time on Instagram, you waste a lot of time on
Social
watching
media.
yeah. So you also spend some time looking out for the schemes of the government,
Very true.
which are there for you actually. So today I think when I'm talking about the awareness, every single data is available on the internet today. All you need to do is make an effort.
I completely understand.
Yeah.
What you have spoken is completely true. The fact is, what knowledge you have, you're not encashing. You mean to say is that the scholarships what government is
Yeah,
granting,
exactly.
not only Telangana, all over India, a lot of
See, I'll
schemes
tell
are
you, I'll
there.
give you a small thing. iPhone 12.
Yeah,
You buy iPhone 12. There are so many features in that.
correct.
If you are only using one feature of call receiving and call making, then the rest of the features you are.
Very great example. I understand.
So what you do is, as a user, the first time you buy it, you go through the manual. You try to understand
Very true.
about every feature. So likewise, for the government of India and even every government, there is so much of material available with regard to these schemes. So one has to go through their manuals. One has
What
to
an
go through
example. What an example.
their-
Very
If you want to understand it, otherwise how will you
How
understand?
you will understand.
If you go and buy iPhone 12 and you say that I'm able to receive only the phone
Calls
and call
and
and this
that's
thing,
all.
then he'll say, it's got the manual with it. You go through. Otherwise, you go to the website. Visit the website. You will know all the features about it. Likewise.
I'm impressed. To be honest enough, the example what you have given, it's really mind-boggling because it's true. When you have something, get into that,
Exactly.
immerse into that, then you will come to know.
Absolutely.
Fantastic, Sam. That's highly great of you.
Otherwise, what we do is we were not aware about this because recently I'll tell you because the CBSE last year, some of our students, especially the overseas student, they missed the date, and then they called me from there, and the parent. They said, sir, because we did not notice and the date is gone, and now we want the extension. Then, in fact, because I wrote to the PMO and also HRD ministry and all, they were kind enough to extend the date. But what happens is the student should be aware about it actually, because they should not actually, come with an excuse that we were not aware about it.
Very true. I am with you.
Because when you are a student, it is your job, I would say.
Sure.
It is your duty. You cannot simply blame, the government,
Government
or you
or
cannot blame the
anyone else.
college, or you cannot, so that's the reason. As a student, it is your duty.
Very true. Great insights. I really applaud you.
For example, you are a driver of the car. I hire you, for example, for driving a car. You hire me like I am the driver. I am supposed to know when I need to check the oil, when I need to put the water in the radiator. While I am driving, I am supposed to keep an eye on the all the meters, whether the car
It's
is
correct or not. At the 11th hour, you can't say that it's not working. That's very true.
So like
You're saying
students
that they
also have
should
to
be
keep
prepared. Yeah.
students also have to keep their ears, eyes open, and if they don't know anything, what they should do is everything is available. See,
In a fingertip.
during those days, our days, the things were different.
Sure.
Yeah, because we did not have accessibility to so much of data and so much of information. Today we have so much of information available at our fingertips.
Very
It is
true.
up to you what you want to take.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reason I told you, we are here not only a senior politician, but a great intellectual. You can understand the amount of knowledge what Sir had transformed. That's very nice of you, sir. I will really appreciate. Now, one question, last 8-9 months, all over the world things were worst, and especially about Telangana also. So, what suggestion would you like to give to the youngsters, because they had some pandemic, they have gone through all those things. Would like to give any suggestions to the youngsters?
Pandemic has not just affected only India or Telangana, but it has affected the entire world, and we have still not come out of it fully. But there are countries, especially the Europe and also the Middle Eastern countries, they are all still going through the lockdowns, and they are going through the restrictions. Even today we have the international travel restrictions, but India has done fairly well. Number one, because our immunity basically, when compared to the others, it's pretty much strong. And apart from that, in this last 1 year, we all have really worked strong building our immunity. Because the kind of spices we have in our food.
Yes.
So, people used to blame us for the spicy food, but today it's being
They
appreciated
realize.
everywhere, because spices give you
Some
immunity.
informative.
Absolutely.
Very true.
That's
And
right.
sir, now
Yeah.
we heard a lot about I mean, I'm
Well,
sorry
let
to
me-
tell
let me- so now the pandemic actually, because our lifestyles have changed.
Okay,
during
yeah,
the
very
pandemic. We were confined mainly, within the four walls of our home, and the way we used to conduct business, the way we used to study, everything has changed. Now from offline, it has become totally online, almost everything. Because when earlier I used to go to the studios for my debates, or I used to have the OB van outside my house. Today, sitting in my drawing room, I can be live anywhere in the world, because I can connect on Skype or Zoom, whatever it is actually. Likewise, the students today, sitting in the comfort of their home, they are able to access their education this thing. But what's happening is, there are disadvantages, there are advantages also. But this way, I think the students 1 year, I'm sure their focus, their attention must not have been there, especially on this studies as it used to be, because that ambience, the atmosphere is very much required, especially for the students. But whatever, it has taught us many lessons. The lesson is, it has made us more confident. And number two, it has taught us discipline in life, and it has made us more health conscious. And the pandemic, in fact, also had made us realize the value of so many things. The relations, I would say, the relations today, because when we were staying at home, then we started understanding the relations more. The relation of mother, father, because I don't think otherwise we spent so much of time with our family.
Exactly.
Which we got to spend. So I think there are so many factors. But at the same time, I think whatever happens, I always believe that Allah, it happens for the best. So there must have been something good, especially for the humanity, for this, and that is how we have to take it. We have to learn, and we have in fact changed our lifestyles, and we have to continue practicing those values, those disciplines, what we have learned during lockdown in our future life.
Very true, sir. I highly, I high regards the knowledge what you are giving to us. Thank you so much. Now, sir, we know, there is a slogan all over, everywhere I can see, that youth against safety and all. Yeah, if
Youth
at all,
against speed.
youth against speed. If you can elaborate about that, because it will be.
See, as for this initiative is concerned, Youth Against Speed, it is actually a campaign. As you are aware, I lost my 16-year-old son in a tragic road accident on 11 September 2011. And that accident had become the most talked about accident in the world, I would say, because it also had Mr. Mohammed Azharuddin, the former KPT's son in that. And I lost my son on the spot, and we lost Mr. Mohammed Azharuddin's son on the 5th day of the accident. So we had a twin tragedy within our home because Mr. Mohammed Azharuddin is when we realized my wife's elder brother. So that way, Mr. Ayaz was my nephew, and it took us almost 3 years. The kind of tragedy, the trauma, what we have been through, it was really difficult for us. It was to deal with. But again, as I told you, it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's will. So we had to surrender ourselves before the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then 3 months we didn't know what to do. But then, I think the divine thought came into our mind. We thought that why not start something? A campaign to stop the youngsters from rash driving, and especially so that the other parents should not go through the tragedy what we have been through in life. So with that objective, with that intention, we launched a campaign called Youth Against Speed. So the main objective of the campaign is to create awareness, especially among the youngsters, against the deadly consequences of speed, the rash driving. Then we also included the drunken driving into that, because we noticed that so many accidents are happening because of the drunken driving. And it is, about 10 years that we have been working on these initiatives. We go to different colleges, we meet the youngsters, we create the awareness among them, and we have seen, the positive results of this. We have been receiving very good cooperation from the government of India, from the state government, from the police departments, from parents, from colleges, everywhere. And this, campaign has been, let me tell you, so successful. Whichever college we go to today, the students, the teachers, the lecturers, they wait for us to come. And then at the end of our 1.5 to 2 hour session, we administer the oath. They take the pledge. Yeah. So likewise, more than 5 lakh students have taken the pledge so far against the rash driving and the drunken driving. And likewise, this campaign is not just only confined to India. It has become a global campaign. We had the campaign in Saudi Arabia, we had the campaign in other countries also. And day in and day out, we keep receiving invitations from different governments, especially because and from different universities from India and also from the outside India.
I mean, if at all, I'm so sorry, I am sorry what I heard about that, but as you said, it's all Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's thing. But the best part, what I want to tell is, literally, it was not a easy task for Sir and Mr. Mohammed Azharuddin Sir also, because, losing a son. But after that, please understand what they have done. I literally get tears in my eyes. They have changed 500,000 families. Am I correct, sir? Not only students, because a student, when he studies in college, he represents his family. So imagine 500,000 families are blessing you, I guess, because the orientation, the knowledge, the education, what they have given, that's hats off, sir. I really
also
appreciate.
go and visit the girls' colleges, girls' schools also.
Oh.
So the reason is today girls are also riding the bikes.
True.
But apart from that, what happens is the brother-sister bonding is different. So when a sister gives advice to her brother, it will have a different kind of impact.
Very true.
So that is the reason. And moreover, it is something which is very, very close to our heart. I'll just give you a small example how this campaign has impacted the life of the youngsters. It is, I think, a year back. I got a call at about 12:30 in the midnight. The boy's name is Ashwin, if I'm not forgetting. He called me. He said, "Sir, it's my birthday today." I said, "Who is this?" He said, "Sir, I'm Ashwin. I know you because you had come to my college. I had taken the pledge against traveling. Today is my birthday." Then I thought that he called me because he wanted me to wish him. Then I told him happy birthday, Ashwin. Then he said, "But sir, I did not call you for this purpose. I called you for some other purpose." Then I told him what? He said, "I just cut my birthday cake. I'm here with my friends. So I have about 7 to 8 friends of mine with me. So they all want me to go on a joyride. But then I told them that I have taken the pledge, so I cannot, come for the joyride on the bike." Then they said, "Ari, it's your birthday. I mean, if you're not coming on the joyride,
What's the point?
What the point?" He said, "No, I've taken a pledge. So that's the reason I'm calling you. If you don't mind, can I put this on the speaker?" I said, "Yes." Then I spoke to the other 8, 9 friends of his. I said, "You're all youngsters." They said, "Yes." I said, "Do you have parents at home? Brothers at home? Sisters at home?" They all said, "Yes." "Don't you think they're all waiting for your safe return?" They said, "Yes." Then, okay, I mean, I know you will get the thrill, you will get the joy of the joyride, but that will be only for a few seconds. But Khuda na khasta, if something happens to you during that few seconds, then you will not be able to see your parents anymore but you will die on the spot. But your parents will be dying every day. Every day. Just think about it. Then everyone was so tired. Then I said, "Okay, if you don't mind, can we take a pledge on phone?" So I will give them the pledge on phone at that night. So that is how I feel that it has touched many lives.
Literally, I get tears in my eyes. I'll tell you one thing. I mean, what you have done, it's amazing. Hats off. Reason is going through that pain and doing something for the development of the country, development of the world. That's really great. I truly inspired you, sir. That's very nice of you. And everyone, whoever watching, whoever viewing across the globe, my humble request is please watch again and again. Reason is, see the advice. Midnight, someone is called, at 12:30 and asking, "Sir, please, can I put you on the speaker so that you can give advice?" And 9 more families can be saved with rash driving. So nice of you, sir. I'm really touched with your inspiration. Sir, last and final questions. What you want, like as you said about this minorities, a lot of awareness is required. I've seen, sir, because I've traveled across, there are a lot of poor families, they are looking after someone's help. How we can do something to them, sir? Like as you said, awareness is the key. Second part, scholarship is being granted. Only thing is that rightly they are not getting into that. What would you like to give a solid message to them so that they can grab it and be happy forever?
I'll tell you, because what I mean, there are so many NGOs which are working. And see, the government, it is not just possible only for the government. Government is doing its bit, true. But it is, as a citizen, it is our responsibility.
Very true.
So everyone, I think, especially every locality, should have a committee. You have societies there.
Very true. And this is a great suggestion. Yes,
because in every colony you have a society.
There is a society.
So that society also should have a wing.
Okay.
They should create the awareness, because for them the outreach is very easy.
Very easy.
Because see, for example, that society under that has about 100 houses, and maybe there is also a slum attached to that. So they can take, the responsibility of that. Go to every individual house, sit with them, talk to them. And every society, there will be office bearers, 10 to 12. So each one of them treat this as their personal responsibility. So that is how they can reach out to every single family and find out what exactly they need. And then what happens is, you have, the public representatives there, you have the corporators, you have the MLAs, you have the MPs. So that society can get in touch with their corporator, can get in touch with their MLA, can get in touch with their MP.
That's the system.
Yeah. So that's because we have a complete, the system in place. But it is unfortunate that we don't make use of that.
Fantastic, sir. Since you're such an intellectual, last and final question only. Since you're brother-in-law of former Indian captain Mr. Mohammad Azharuddin. So did you ever thought that you want to play cricket? Or already?
I used to play cricket in college,
Achha.
but see what happens is everybody cannot become a Mohammad Ali.
Very true.
So, and apart from that, everybody cannot really, play the kind of cricket what the test cricketers. So, but everyone plays cricket. I would say either in the school or in the college. Yeah. So when I was playing cricket, definitely I had a desire, but I knew, I had to focus on the studies. So I focused, mainly on the studies, and that is why I think I neglected, on the game also.
Thank you
Probably
very much.
if I would have put in more efforts, maybe, and had I taken cricket seriously, but still,
Destiny is there. This is what I can tell you. One thing, what I noticed, what I witnessed: a frank, humble, candid, outspoken, a great intellectual. The fact is, the knowledge what sir has got, he transformed. There is a famous book called Die Empty. That means when you die, you've got to give everything to the world. That is what sir has given. Even though he lost something which is his heart and soul, but still his intention is as a philanthropist person. He wants to help the community. He wants to help the continent. He wants to help the world. That's a great of you, sir. By this, I just say thank you very, very much. Indeed, it's a privilege and honor that you have given time to us. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, but